Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 1/35th scale figures in review. Today I'm going to take a different approach with you folks, and I'm going to go and show you kind of a how-to or the use of what we can do with these great Hornet headsets that are provided by Roger Saunders from Hornet Heads himself. These are 35th scale figure or 54 millimeter heads that can be placed on different 35th scale figures that we have provided for us, both plastic, both in resin, okay, you name it, these can be used. Roger has had a excellent line of Hornet heads. These are the four that he's sent to me, and also a nice handset. But as you can kind of tell here, as I'll show you, I've been using Hornet heads, and a lot of people have been using Hornet heads for years. Okay, they have a wide variety of different types of headsets to use. These are the four that Mr. Sanders graciously sent me today or the other day, and this is going to be a quick tutorial to show you how you can adapt these to your 35th scale figures, especially injected molded figures. What I have here is a very useful handset, okay, that you can have. All right, these right here are European bald heads. All right, and I will show you how these can work with a different type of headgear you can put on them. All right, these are soldiers with army side caps, right, that you can use. And at the end of the video, I'll show you some close-ups of these wonderful headsets. They're made in a light gray resin, and they are very, very detailed. And then one figurehead that I painted up using the ammo set was these aquiline noses, and these are basically what people would refer to as Roman noses. All right, and once again, like I said, at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and show these to you in close-up snapshots. All right, I'd like to thank everybody that's been subscribing to my videos. Like I said before, as the summer rolls through, we're going to be doing different types of things with the videos. So make sure you subscribe, share. Let me know what you think of the videos, because like I said before, that's all about providing a service to any of us that deal with 35th scale figures. What I'm going to do is I've been using to demo this, I was using the Defense of the Reich Generation 2 Dragon figures. Over the years since I've been doing this, our figures have dramatically improved as far as the quality goes, and actually Dragon was kind of the trendsetter for injected molded plastic figures and increasing their detail, how they use the weaponry and all these things like this in 35th scale. And so I chose these guys, and I'll use 3 of them to demo what I did with creating the heads and how you can adapt the Hornet heads to your 35th scale figures. Okay, next I'll show you the 3 different guys that I chose to do this with. Okay, here's one of the gentlemen is going to be right here. Okay, one of the gentlemen, and I actually added a weapon to kind of give a little bit of scale, is this guy right here, and then this gentleman right here. Okay, and if you're familiar with a lot of the 35th scale figures, here are the, especially Dragon, here are the numerous, okay, sprues that they have of the different figures. Okay, here's the weapons sprue that I picked some of the weapons from. Okay, here is the plastic, the headsets and other equipment that you can pick and choose from. All right, and like I said, they've increased dramatically, and working with plastic is going to be way different than working with your resin. Okay, some of the tools that I use, just so you understand how this all worked out. Okay, and what you do, I had my big time sprue cutters, okay, to remove the pieces from your plastic sprue. Now when you do this, you have to be careful so you don't leave and take off too much of the figure as you're taking off. So then what I've done, also I have a pair of very sharp nippers that will also cut very close to the figure without leaving much of a nub or indentation on the figure. Okay. And we also have our ever-present and always popular number 11 X-Acto knife. Okay, this is for removing some of the nub that's still left over on the sprue, and also for scraping the seams that are out there on our 35th scale figures. Okay, now a couple of things I'm going to show you right here that I've turned out to be just absolutely wonderful. Okay, is our first one are these Tamiya sanding sponges. Okay, and these Tamiya sanding sponges that you can get, okay, are just excellent. They're sponges that you can cut to shape. Obviously right here I've cut off a section of it. Okay, the higher the number, the finer the grit that they have. This is a 600 grit right here. This is a 1000 grit right here. Okay, and these were, they're the first time I've used them on plastic figures. They were just wonderful. And what I did was I cut them into smaller squares like you see right here, and they're very flexible, they're very pliable. Okay, they work in and out here like so. Okay, and so what I did was cut these up, and these actually just were super in removing the seams without taking any other detail off the back of the figures. Okay, the other tool I used, okay, to be able to adapt the head to the figure is my pen vise. All right, and I'll show you how I use this. And now what I've been doing lately is I've been able to actually start pinning my figures a lot more. So I pin the heads in here so I can remove them and interchange them from head to head. This is just a simple brass rod from K&S metals that you guys can pick up at any good hobby store. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the process that I did once I put the figures together. Okay, and as you're dealing with resin, okay, you need to, excuse me, as you're dealing with plastic, you can use any plastic glue that will be able to bond the plastics together. And this is my Tamiya extra thin cement. And I'm also a little old school in the fact that I have my good old Testors, okay, very slow cure liquid cement. Okay, and this gives you actually pretty good working time. Now resin, you can't use these because it won't work with resin. What you have to be able to do when you're doing the resin is use your CA glues or your super glues. These give you a little bit more time to work. The bond is a lot stronger once you let the glues set. All right, so once you have your figures set and you leave them overnight, you're going to be where the arms are, and that's the way it works. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to this real quick little demo. After I've put the figures together and got them ready to go, I figured out what head I want to be able to use. And what I've done is, if I can zoom in on this guy right here, okay, is I've taken my pen vise and I kind of figure out where I'm going to be able to put the head. So I will drill a hole using a fairly large bit in the neck and drill out a beginning hole. All right, and that's going to be, as you see right here. Now, after I've done that and I've got the hole drilled out, what I then wind up doing is I will take my X-Acto knife, all right, and then I will start edging out the hole, and I'll make it bigger, all right, by just simply working it around and scraping it out and beginning to drill it out. Okay, then what I wind up doing is I wind up getting something that looks like this. If I can zoom in on him here too, get right there. And that's what this looks like right here, okay, as I've scraped it all out. Now one device, and I'll go ahead and show you folks this too. One device I picked up at a Target here in the United States is in the cuticle section and working your fingernail section of the beauty department. This is a cuticle remover and it has a little dental burr on the end of it. And so what I've done is I'll take this after I scraped it off to the point that I think it's hollowed out pretty good. I'll go ahead and take this, and you have to very carefully begin edging inside the hole because you want to remove as much of that plastic around the collar as you possibly can. All right, and that's what this would be doing right here, is I would drill this out. Okay, now as I've said before, I already have a hole drilled in the spot that's back here. Okay, because as I said before, I began pinning my figures together so that they'll go ahead and hold up a little bit. And this gentleman right here is also prepared to go ahead and take on the head. And get ourselves zoomed in a little bit there, just like so. Okay, and that's what he looks like. And now you see the Generation 2 figure also holds up very well as far as the detail goes. Okay, these are probably some of the best plastic figures, and in today's world, our plastic figures have greatly improved, from Tamiya to Dragon to Mini Art, Master Box, and places like that. Okay, but still, you cannot beat a Hornet head for a replacement head with their features. Okay, so now I've got that all drilled out. That's already sanded out. Okay, I use my 1000 grit sandpaper just to remove a little bit. And then what I've gone ahead and done is I've gone ahead and pinned, okay, my head just like this. And this is one of the Hornet heads that is available that you guys can pick up. And I chose this one because of the appearance and the look of the gear or the attachments that he has on top of his helmet. Okay, and if you go to the Hornet website, there are a whole bunch of different headsets with different headgear that you can put on. I like this one a lot. Okay, this is from my own collection. I'll show you the one I finished up with Roger that he sent me and painted up, so it all worked pretty good. And you'll notice what I have here on the bottom of him is the pin, okay, that I simply drilled out and added to the head. And so now what I can very simply do is I can take the head, okay, I'll bring it right to the figure, okay, and I can simply just slide him right in there. And there is our completed adaptation of the Hornet head to the Dragon figure. Okay, and the nice thing about putting the pins in is that you can even take the guy and you can move his head to where you like to think he has to go. I always try to turn my heads just a little bit, okay, so they're looking not quite as stiff as a posed figure, but you can choose to do what you want to do. Okay, and here what I would do is put this guy offside center just a little bit. Okay, now another figure, I'll put him back here, another figure that I did and pinned, okay, is this gentleman right here. Okay, this is another one from my collection. These are from Roger's headsets. Okay, this is just the field cap that you have this guy on. You see the pin that I've done right here. And I couldn't resist. I went ahead and got this figure that's right here and finished drilling it out. And I'll show you the head as I've got him pinned in here also, and how it just simply slides in. If I want to, I can exchange the heads. And I put his head right in there. And of course, I'll super glue him when I'm sure and I'm done with the figure painting. And here this guy is all ready to go. Okay. And the really nice thing about the Hornet headsets is they add character to your figure. This guy looks pretty good. He's got a more relaxed appearance with his cap on. Okay, this is, once again, these figures just really like to take paint, these figure heads. Okay, so I can't say enough about the Hornet heads. Now, to wrap this up a little bit, I'll show you what one looks like, okay, that I painted up using... And I think I showed you folks this one before. What I did was I took one of the helmets, okay, from the Dragon set, and I went ahead and hollowed out just like I would the necks, okay. And this is what he looks like. And this is a bald head. This is what he looks like in the finished process, okay. And all I did was just with a little bit of super glue, I put this helmet on there like it's supposed to be, okay. And he's ready to go ahead and be placed into the Dragon figure. Now you'll notice the necks are longer a little bit here, and so what you need to be able to do, okay, is trim these necks back, of course, as much as you want to, and then add the pin and then fit him in there however you want to. But he gave you plenty of neck. My advice is make sure you don't take a whole lot off, okay, at first, because it's a little bit harder to build it up. Just kind of trim it back a little bit until you're pretty satisfied with how he's going to fit into the collar, okay, and then you're ready to go. But that's what he looks like, okay, all said and done, with a plastic helmet attached to him, and I just hollowed it out. This is on top of the bear head, okay? So that is basically what I have for your real quick tutorial on how you add the heads onto the Hornet heads onto your plastic figures. And this works for any plastic figures they have out there. I can't say enough about the quality of the Hornet heads. They are excellent. Their detail is just superior. Okay, they take paint very, very well. And once again, I'd like to thank Roger Sanders for sending me, okay, the samples that he gave me. And I'll give you some still photos here pretty quick about what they look like out of the packaging, one each. So now, as I said before, thank you very much for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial just a little bit. Make sure you come back and revisit us at 1/35 scale figures in review. And basically, that's all I have for you today. So until next time, we'll see you, folks.